Hello, great people. You are welcome back to Physique Fashion Now channel. My name is Fola. So today we'll be continuing with the sewing part of our Victoria corset that we did the cutting part the last time, and it's going to be detailed as usual. The first thing we are going to do is to just do some necessary things in the front part, because when we were drafting it before we cut it out, we forgot to add to return all the things we deduct here, and we need to do that before we go ahead and cut out our fabric. So let me just quickly do that before we commence into this class. To achieve that, I'll just grab this fresh paper, and I'll have to gum this on it. I will gum this on it. If you remember, this is the bodice of our front cut. This is the way it goes. We forgot to return what was deducted here and here. We forgot to return it at the bust and upper uh, chest area. So that is what we first of all take care of before we continue. So I will now just arrange it. This is the way it way. Something was deducted here. Half an inch, I mean, quarter to this place, quarter, half an inch was deducted here, half an inch. That one has been replaced. That is what we did here. We have done that in the cutting part. So the next thing we want to do now, I'm trying to arrange it the way it is. So, we deducted 2 inches here, 2 inches. That is in the upper chest area. This is our 2 inches. We are going to return it. And here at the chest line here, I'm trying to have my 2 inches accurately, so I won't miss what we are having. So here now, we have like a 3/4 to return here. We have like 3/4, and we have like quarter here. So making 1 inch, we have to return 1 inch in the chest line. We have to return 2 inches in the upper chest. So firstly, I will have my straight ruling at the upper chest here. Upper chest, this is my upper chest. I want to rule it straight. The distance from the upper chest to the chest line is 2 inches. That is what I get here. So these 2 inches here, I will just return it. 2 inches, I return it. Then here we have 1 inch. I return it 1 inch. 1 inch. So that is that. So the next thing I will do is that I will just input my seam allowance of 1 inch straight up. So 1 inch seam allowance here, 1 inch seam allowance here, 1 inch seam allowance here. So as for the upper chest, you don't need the seam allowance there. So what I will do now is just to connect. I'll connect this from bust point. I connect to the under bust. Then I connect to my waist line. So then I use my curve rule to connect this. This is my hammer curve now. So for this now, this is what I'm going to cut out as the side cut. That's for number 3 now. This is going to serve as the third partition now. So this is what I'm going to use to cut out my fabric now. And this I do here, the same thing will be done to the back cuts. As a matter of fact, I've already done that to the number 3 of back cuts. Let me just show you. This is it. I've added all that which we deducted. I've added it back. So here we have it. So the way you did it here, just go ahead and add the necessary thing to the back before you cut out the fabric. So let's just go ahead and cut out our fabrics now. Now I've used the pattern to cut out the fabrics, and as you can see, the seam allowance have been added to areas where it is necessary. 0.75 inches by the sides and half an inch up and down. Side seam allowance of 1 inch has already been added to the pattern. Number 1 is center front, which is on fold. The lining is cut out the same way. I did the same thing for the back cut. Before we move on, let me quickly give you this tip. Before you use your pattern to cut out your fabrics, always match the pattern drafting of the upper part of your bodice. Match it together and ensure it is aligned with your yoke. So that's why it is always good to draft out your yoke, whether you need it or not. So by the time you match it together, you will know if you have returned all that which you removed from your darts or not. Now this is the skirt part. I reduced my hem allowance to 1 inch instead of 2.5 inches we drafted because I'm making full lining. You are good to maintain your 2.5 inches if you are using half lining or you are not using lining at all. I added half inch up and 1 inch side seam allowance. The same thing was done to the back. Everything was cut on fold. Now to the joining aspect of this video. I'll go ahead and use my 0.75 seam allowance to join those pieces together. You can use your office pins to secure these pieces together as you are taking them to your machine, so there won't be any mix-up as you see me doing to this back drafting. We have gone ahead to join our piece together, and it has been ironed very well. You can see this is the front bodice, this is the back. So we have opened it and ironed it very well, and this is the skirt part. We have gone ahead to join the lining. I joined the lining with a 1/4 of an inch down here, and I fold it in. So, I told you earlier that we cut away 1.5 from the lining. So by the time you join it and turn it and iron it, this is what it will give you. So the same thing has been done to the back skirt. And the same way I did the fabric, the main fabric for the bodice, I did the same thing to the lining. I joined it the same way. So the next thing we want to do is to go ahead and attach our regilling bone. So the way I'm going to attach this regilling bone, I will go ahead and sew it direct on the fabric. I will sew it direct on the fabric this way. You can see the way it is. So that's the way I will place it. I am leaving like three quarter, that is 0.75 an inch up here and down here. So for the joining. So you just secure the raw edges by, doing it this way, so that it will not be poking. You have other alternative of, closing this joining allowance and insert your bone therein. But for this project, I will be sewing it direct on the fabric, and I will be sewing it on not this joining, and I will be putting one. I'll be fixing one regilling bone on the center. This is the center front. There will be one here, leaving 3/4 of an inch up and down. And for the back, I'll fix my regilin bone on this joining, the two joining. So I won't bother to do, to fix it in this zipper allowance. I'm going to fix zipper at the center back. If it is lacing you are doing for your back, you are, good to put another bony very close to where your lacing will be fixed. So thereafter, I'll just go ahead and attach the skirt part to the bodice. This, and I will, the way we are going to do it is going to be lining to lining and fabric to fabric. So this is the main fabric. I will attach this to this, and this is the lining. The lining will be attached to the lining of the skirt, and the same thing will be done to the back cuts. Then before I now go ahead and join the upper parts together. Just to recap what we have done so far. So for the back side, we joined the down part of the, and the upper part of the back together. So then we did the same thing to the main fabric. Then for the main fabric, we join the zipper to the main fabric. This is it. We attach our zipper to the main fabric, then the lining is attached to it. Then we move to the front cut. We join the upper part to the down part. Then we join the lining to the main fabric and top stitch. The same thing was done to the back cut. Then we later join the sides together. We ensure it is lining to lining and fabric to fabric. So this is the outcome now. So the next thing we want to do now is to attach our puff sleeve to it. And to achieve that, the first thing you have to determine is the your neckline, the wideness of your neckline. And remember, this project is off shoulder, so we'll be considering 6 inches on fold. 6 inches as our front neckline. So you had your seam allowance, right? That is half an inch. So I'm going to measure 6.5 in this, in the front. You can see it's on fold. I fold the front. This is it. Then you connect it. You can use your free hand or you use your French curve. This is it. So for the back, I'll measure 7 inches. So let the back be like half an inch wider than the front. Then you connect it as well. So this is it. So I'm going to cut this one out now before I begin to cut out the sleeve. So this is our new armhole now. So you just go ahead and hold it, stitch on this to hold the lining and the fabric together. This is it. We want to measure our sleeve now. So it's puff sleeve, and the standard measurement for the puff sleeve is folding it by 15. Fold it by 15 inches. Let me see what I'm having here. I want to cut both sleeves together. So this is what I'm having here. I'm having like 13 inches here. I'm still good to go. So if your material is up to 15, that's right. But 13 inches is still okay. So to draw out my puff sleeve now, so I will just, the length I'll be using, the standard measurement is 18 inches length. So I will just add 2 inches to it as my hem allowance. So making 20 inches. So I'll be marking 20 inches this way. And this is a off-shoulder puff sleeve. So this one we are drawing, this 20 inches now will be used for the basic puff sleeve. but hence it is a off shoulder puff sleeve. Now we need to step down with like 4.5. So I step down with 4.5 here. I mark it. So, and you know, when we were drafting our pattern, our bodice pattern, we came down with 6 inches. That is our upper chest line. Is that, and that is where our hammer curve was determined. So that is why we are going to step down to 6 inches here now. I can mark your 6 inches here. So the next thing we want to determine is our hammer curve. So to determine your hammer curve, grab your dress, measure from your armpit region to this side. We are having 3 inches. So you are going to add seam allowance of 1 inch. I mean half an inch, making 3.5. So you determine that 3.5 here now by placing your tape measure this way. You can see the way I place my tape measure. Yeah, this is where we get our 3.5. You mark it here. Then you use your curve to connect it. You can as well use your freehand sketch. Just this way. Yeah, we have our 3.5. Then from here now, we connect to this end. So here, before we connect to this end now, you know, before we cut out our fabric, we had have an inch sewing allowance up here. So we are going to add half an inch as well. So which means from this 6 inches, we step up with half an inch. Then we connect it. Connect it just the way you see me doing. Yeah. So for this down part, you don't need any shaping here because your elastic will take care of this place. Even for this place, it is elastic, 1 inch elastic that will take care of this place to give you what you need here. Yeah. So here we have our 2 sleeves. So the next thing we are going to do now is to cut out the facing. We cut out the facing like 2 inches that we be able to accommodate our 1 inch elastic up here. I want to cut the two together. The next thing is to determine the length by we want to use 2 inches. You know, by the time we fold in, half an inch will serve as a seam allowance up and down. Half an inch, half an inch. This is our facing for our we join it together here with half an inch seam allowance. I turn it, I top stitch on this. Then you can, you know, just overlock here or fold it in and sew it down. Then that's where you insert your 1 inch elastic. Now, this is our sleeve. We have gone ahead to attach the facing. We have torn it. I overlock it. So, and I sew it down. So the next thing is and I turn the down part of our sleeve with half an inch. The next thing is to cut out our elastic to insert. And to achieve that, for the upper part, to be using like 6 to 7 inches of elastic. So I'll cut out for the two sleeves. So for the down part, I will be cutting out 10 inches to be inserted to the down part. Have an inch elastic is used for the down part, while 1 inch is used for the upper part. Now, I want to go ahead and insert the elastic now. Yes. This is it. I've gone ahead to join the side of our sleeves together. Then we turn it to the, I just want to turn it to the right side so that you see the outcome. This is the down part. This is the shoulder area. This is the armhole cuff. So this is what we are going to join with this now. We are going to join this. We are going to attach this. So this is the way it will go. You place it, joining it with half an inch. So that's the way it will go, and that's the end. I do the same thing to this side, and our Victoria corset dress will be ready. Now, I've gone ahead to attach the sleeve to the main bodice. You can see it, and the place has been, overlocked. And this side that will come out for the main dress, I've stitched it up. So this is the back. I didn't put any slit because this is a short gown above the nail. If you are making yours longer, you might put a little slit at the back. So you can see how beautiful and neat it looks. Look at it. This is the inner parts of it, and this is the front look. See how beautiful it looks. The beauty will speak better by the time it gets to the body. So I'm sure you have really enjoyed this teaching. Make sure you try it out, and let me see. Let me hear from you. Thank you very much for watching. If you have not subscribed to this channel, do well to subscribe today, and share this video with your friends and family, and even as the part of this New Year festivity. And drop your comment. I'll be expecting your comment in the comment section. So once again, compliment of the season.